Yes, we're going to move into the Q&A right away. I'm going to invite the other speakers onto our virtual stage. We have a few minutes, so I think I'll keep it at one question per guest. Tua, let's start with you, because the most important question was actually, where do we find more information about your research?
Absolutely. So adf.fi, designfactory.fi, that will take you already to our Design Plus Sustainability 101 report, which is our most recent work, as well as has links to our previous work. So that's adf.fi. That will act as a first source of information.
And I'm sure somebody will put it in the chat. And can people reach out to you via LinkedIn or something like that?
Absolutely. LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you can find me. I am eager to discuss design and sustainability in organizations. So any questions, pointers, comments, I would love to engage with you
watch
even outside
out.
of this Q&A.
Your LinkedIn profile will be flooded from this moment on. Thank you, Tua. So I'm going to move over to Swara and Nikita. There was a question from Daniela, and she mentioned the point about slow inclusion, a term that I think is really interesting, but she had a concern about it might lead people to believe that there is no urgency. Have you encountered such concerns, and how have you dealt with that?
Yeah, so since we had a really short time, so we could not elaborate much on the word itself, but we would just like to now emphasize, and thanks for the great question, so now we can address it, that by slow, we don't really mean that there's no urgency, or it does not need to happen or start happening immediately. And slow should not be probably mistaken for complacent. It just means that we need to be more intentional about how we are practicing it, and more realistic about how much we can achieve within one project versus it being a goal that we are aiming to achieve over time, because building inclusion has a lot to do with changing systems, which we cannot and should not probably aim for it to happen within one project or within a very short period of time.
Yeah, even like inclusion is not like a thing that we, as a tool or a framework that we can just plug into our entire process and then imagining to start showing results immediately. So I think building over time will have much more stronger impact when we are looking at it in a true sense of change that we want to build across.
It almost becomes a habit rather than a one-off initiative, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
There were a few more questions, but you'll have to go through them in the Q&A and maybe reach out to those people. So, Florie, there was also a few questions for you, and I'm just going to pick one that I think is interesting. And that is a question about policies and how policies can be obstacles when standing for the planet. The question is, have you experienced something similar? And if so, what did you do?
Well, yes, policies can be obstacle. That's right. For the moment, it has not been a difficulty for me in my project. And I see that policies are evolving too. I don't know, I have no information about policies in other countries, but in France, policies are evolving. And for example, circular economy is something that is important for France, for the governments, and we have some advertise on the TV about circular economy and reuse and repair, and so I think the road is very long, but there are some interesting signs. I don't know if it's the right word in English, but there are a lot of little things that seem to go in the right way. So it will be okay, I think.
Yeah.
The most difficult is that thing is that we have no time to protect the planet. So everything is very long, and the evolution of policies are very, very long, and it's here that I think we will have some difficulties. The times are not the same.
We cannot wait. We don't have the time to wait. We have to find ways to work with the policies that are currently in place. And thank you for that. I know this was a very short Q&A, so I encourage everybody to reach out to all of you through LinkedIn, Twitter, email, whatever ways possible. Thank you for doing these great presentations. And hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of the conference as well.